Have you made pickled peppers before? Let me show you how to do this. I just recently harvested a lot of jalapenos, serrano peppers, banana peppers, and other varieties of peppers. And this led me to make pique. Pique is a recipe authentically from Puerto Rico. And I have a best friend that she's Puerto Rican, and they know that I love hot sauce. And at one barbecue one year, her grandmother made it, and I enjoyed it. And I asked the grandmother, and she gave me the recipe. So I've been making this recipe for years. Every time I harvest, you don't need a lot of things, and guess what? You don't even need vinegar. All you need is pineapple, the pineapple skin. As you see, I have one pineapple here, and I just peeled it, and I'm using all the skins. That is what's gonna make your pickle juice. So all I'm doing is just peeling it out. Everything else, the fruit, you could just cut it up and use it, as you normally would. You could make juice out of it, eat it, or even put a little bit in the Pique solution. I got a big jar, a big mason jar that I'm gonna use. As you see, I have a lot of peppers to do. So the first step is to just wash your pineapple and peel it, cut it up. Do not discard anything. Also, you may need to use the core as where all the nutrients and the flavor is. So add the core on top of the skin, the pineapple skin, in making your solution. You will also need a huge pot so that you could add water to for boiling. And here you put your pot on the stove, and then you're gonna add all the peels, the core, the bottom, everywhere that you could get. Add that in there. I'm just cutting them into chunk sizes because I didn't want the whole thing like just slivers of the skin. I just wanted it into pieces so that when it boils, it's able to release more of its nutrients easily. So that's what I was doing. And then I added into the pot. As you see, there's no water in there. I didn't turn it on. So I'm going to get some water, and then I'm going to fill it up with water, and then we're going to bring this to a boil. But in the meantime, I want to tell you a little bit of story. Like, as I was saying, my best friend is Puerto Rican. We met in college. I used to not stand her in class because we had class together, and she couldn't even speak English, and we became friends, and now we're lifetime friends. It's been 20 years. So we had so many things, so many fun times together. And now that we have our families, we have barbecues, we meet up when we all used to live in the same state. Now we live very far away in different states. But what keep me connected to that family and my friend is always remembering the good times and also making the recipes that were shared with me. So I'm very grateful for having my friend and the family and willing to share this recipe with me. Like I said, I've been using this recipe for years, and to my surprising, I still do have the bottle that I first tasted, and the grandmother gave me. I'm talking about, it's been maybe 8, 9 years already, close to 10 years, and it's still there, not spoiled anything. I made mine multiple times, and I used it up, but I kept hers, and it's still there. And I'll show you at the end of the video what it looked like. But this is very simple recipe. All you need, like I just did, is boiling up the skin. You just needed to have a good boil and look at the water turning colors. You see that it released most of the nutrients, the pineapple flavors and stuff. Next, you want to wash your peppers. These are already washed, so I'm just cutting them up because I want the hot flavor release. You could also just put them whole, and you could put whatever you want. You could put onions, peppers, uh, garlic, carrots, vegetables. That's what she told me. Her grandmother told me that you could use this method for anything. You could even do a fruit one. But today we're just doing the Pique, the original, authentic, um, pickled from Puerto Rico. So I'm just slicing them up and layering them in there. I did started to just throw them in there, slice and throw them in there. Um, and then as I was doing that, I was bringing the pineapple skin to a boil. I think the science behind this is that pineapple is acidic, right? And you need acidity. You need some acidity to start fermentation for pickling. So by removing the juices and the skin, releasing all the nutrients and acidity from the pineapple skin into the water and warming it up, heating it up, it is a perfect solution to use for the pickling of these peppers. So I believe that's why it works so well. I've seen other recipes out there when I did a little bit of research to just see how my bonus grandma's recipe measure up with other Puerto Rican recipe out there. Hers does not have vinegar. I've seen so many they combine vinegar or they use vinegar, but does not have vinegar. I asked her multiple times, "Do you use vinegar?" She said no, and I tried it, and it worked, and I've used it, and it lasts so longer, so much time. So it does work. So you just have to cut up those peppers. If you have a lot, just cut up them and put them in the container. The one that I was given was actually in a Snapple apple bottle. You could use it wherever in any container as long as it's a glass jar and a cover. And that's about it. You just fill it up. And then also the seasoning, you could add whatever you want in there. But as I was just cutting and throwing, I realized, ooh, I have all these beautiful colors. Why don't I just layer them by the color? So that's why I dumped it all out. As you see, I do not plan and measure out recipes. I just go with the flow, what is in my heart. I measure with my heart. I cook with my heart. So as soon as I learned this recipe, and this recipe was given to me with no measurement, it was just use this, use that, and put whatever you want in there. And it has worked for me. And that's how I cook. And that's how I like to share the recipes as well. So as you see, the pineapple skin has come to a boil. I'm going to let it boil for a lot longer because I do want all that nice nutrients, the citrusy, to all release into this solution, this water, so that we have a good pickle solution here. So when I made the decision to dump everything out, I just started layering them by color. So with the peppers I have today actually are jalapeno and serrano, the green ones. So you could easily identify them. The serrano is a lot slimmer and smaller in size, longer as well, and the jalapeno is kind of fatter. And it has more body to it. So those I used everything in there. So I cut up those, just sliced them into two and layered them till I finished the quantity that I wanted to add into this Pique jar. And I continued to do that, and then I went into with the next one, which was the banana pepper. Now that the jar is full with the peppers, garlic, and onion, I thought, okay, let me just add some flavor. So I did have some cilantro in the fridge. So I pulled that out. It got a little bit, and then I decided to chop it up and top it up in this jar. So as you see, I'm just filling it up. As the pineapple skin was getting ready and boiling hard, I thought it's time to get the oil. I use olive oil Zaze, which is also from my friend. She has this amazing business and authentic olive oil from Turkey. It's so good. I don't use any other olive oil but Zaze olive oil. So that's part of the recipe. You're supposed to top it up with some type of oil. And I chose olive oil. So before we pour the hot pineapple solution juice here, I'm adding all the other flavorings. So we already add the cilantro. I just added some sugar. She said put a little bit of sugar. If you want to omit it, you can omit that. You don't have to add it in there. And then I put some salt. She did not put salt in her recipe, but I like the flavor of the juice. That's what I use in adding like a hot sauce to my food. So I wanted it to have some salt flavor in there. So I add some salt and then I add some pepper. I did add some crushed pepper and I also add some whole pepper in there. And then I was just looking in my cabinet, what else can I add? You could add whatever you want, whatever flavoring. As I was making it, it was nighttime, so I couldn't run into my garden to get the oregano and other herbs that I could add in there. But as you see, it was ready, so I filled it up, top it up with the hot pineapple skin juice there. You have to fill it up. I did add some pineapples in there, and I put up my camera so that you could see in there, just trying to make sure you could see inside the jar. There you go. So this is what it looks like. So I did top it up with some pineapple. I'm going to push it down a little bit further in there and then top it up with the Zaze olive oil. I did also went back in and as it settled and it had so much room to settle and the solution went down a little bit. I did top it up with some more olive oil and also some of the solution that I had there. But you just want to make sure everything is covered because you don't want to have botulism. Botulism is when these bacteria start to grow and in during fermentation, and it is bad. It could be deadly. So you always want to make sure to pickle properly. This is just one way of doing it. I just make sure everything is covered with the solution and oil. And if you're just not sure that you want to keep it on the counter, you could put it in the refrigerator to make sure that it keeps well and it keeps longer. So I'm going to share the recipe that was shared with me. It was very simple. It's right here. All she said, her name was Tata, and pineapple skin juice, boil it, and then add all these stuff to the jar. That was it. That was the recipe. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you made this recipe, please put it in the comment. Or if you know about this recipe or you have any tips that you think it could make it better, that you want to share with the community, please feel free. And I just want to remind you, make sure you plant one thing that you could eat from and also use in your kitchen. So until next time, I'll see you. Thank you for being here. Bye.